The ideal house for a first-time flipper requires a thorough cleaning and a decluttering along with a facelift to catch the eye of a potential buyer. Hi, I'm Jonathan Otero. I'm the owner of J&J Management Group and the owner of We Buy Houses Seminole. And today we're going to start a series called the Cosmetic Job Checklist. And this very first video is going to be called Painless Landscaping Makeovers. And these are just going to be some little tips and tricks to help you along the way. When you're doing your first time flip, we're going to focus today on just the landscaping part of it. Some simple little things that can help go a long way when you're potentially selling your first house. The first thing you want to focus on is you want to trim trees and bushes. So trim the trees and the bushes. If you want to take a look at your property and you want to see if any of the trees are mature, if they're hanging over branches or leaves that are hanging over the roof of the house. Sometimes when it rains, that dirt can get on the roof and make the roof look worse. You want to trim those trees back. You're probably going to have to hire a professional to do that. But sometimes if it's a little minor thing, you can go to Home Depot or Lowe's and buy one of those long sticks or poles that extend out, and you can actually clip them yourself without even having to get on a ladder. Those are awesome. And those sometimes just pruning a tree or trimming a tree and taking a couple of minutes to just do that and trimming some of the bushes back. If you want to hire a landscaper, go for it if you have enough money in your budget. But if you can do it yourself, home run, saves you some money, and it just makes a tremendous. Sometimes you can trim a bush back, and it just brings the whole house to life because now you can see it from the street. So that is really, really critical. So number one, trim trees and bushes. The second thing that you want to take a look at, and another thing that I do when I'm looking at my houses or whenever I'm doing any landscaping, you want to pull any weeds. Okay, and you also want to pull dead plants as well. Any dead plants. I'm going to put that here as well. Anything that's dead that just doesn't look, it's an eyesore. So you want to pull those dead plants or those bushes, take them out, and just get rid of them. But the weeds especially. Sometimes if a house is not taken care of, the weeds can just be overgrown and just make the house just look not desirable. And it's so simple. You can just go to any type of Home Depot or Lowe's or anywhere and get any type of weed killer. Roundup is the one that I use. It's a tube and you just pump it and you just spray those things down. And literally, by the time, if you do that in the very beginning when you get to the house, and then by the time you leave, you can actually start to see those weeds starting to change color and they're dying. And by the next day, they're just pretty much gone at that point. So you want to spray, kill all those weeds, pull the weeds and the dead plants. That will definitely bring your landscaping back, and it makes a big difference. The third thing you want to do is you want to declutter the yard. So I'm going to put that here, declutter. You want to take a look at if the old owners had left some stuff or some trash around, furniture maybe, or they left just items around the yard. You want to get rid of that stuff and declutter it. Conversely, if you had a lot of leaves and a lot of trees on the property and there's some leaves there, you want to make sure you take those leaves out. I know sometimes up north when I was in New York, you had the fall season and there'd be leaves all over the place. If you're selling a house in that condition, you got to declutter the yard. If there's any furniture or any leaves or any trash around, if there's trash cans around, put those in the garage. Just declutter the yard, because when that buyer walks into their backyard, they want to picture what it's going to be like when they have a party in their house with their family and friends. And they can't visualize it if there's clutter all around. So make sure you declutter the yard, front and backyard. I'm going to add that as well, front and backyard. So make sure, number 3, declutter. The number 4 thing that you want to do is you want to add mulch to the flower beds. And I say mulch because mulch is very inexpensive and very easy to apply. Mulch is something, and when it's brand new and fresh, now normally you may not like mulch in your own personal house because people have said that mulch brings in bugs and things like that. But I gotta tell you, when mulch is first laid down, if you buy a red mulch or if you buy a black mulch or whatever color, that mulch is so brightly colored, it just spruces up the front. So if you buy maybe 3 or 4 or 5 bags of mulch, however much you need, and you just open that bag up and start spreading it out around that flower bed, it can make a ton of difference, and it looks fresh and it looks new. When buyers walk in, and every time you have a showing, or if you have an open house, when buyers walk in, that's their first impression. Landscaping is the most important thing when it comes to first impressions of your house. So if you mulch the flower beds, it just makes it look that much more alive and fresh. So number 4, mulch the flower beds. Number 5, you want to mow and edge the lawn. So obviously this is like a no-brainer, right? Mow and edge the lawn. Every time you have a showing, or once a week, depending how long you have that property, if you're still showing the property and you don't have a buyer locked in, you always want to get there and mow and edge the lawn, and it's critical. And I say mow and edge. You got to do both, because over here in Florida, if you've seen on my other videos, we talk about it. St. Augustine grass is the kind of grass that we generally use here in Florida, and this grass grows sideways. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. When I first moved down here to Florida, I didn't understand it. But the grass actually grows, instead of going into the dirt and the roots, the vines actually grow sideways, and they try to grab onto each other, and they interconnect. It's a cool thing to see when it's growing. But what's not cool is when those vines hang over your cement into the sidewalk, and people are trying to walk there, and it just looks unkept and unruly. It's like, imagine if you didn't comb your hair just looks unruly and looks messed up. And that's what the edging does. When you edge the grass, if you have a nice lawn and it just looks like a perfect square all around, it just looks beautiful, and it shows your house a lot better. So number 5, mow and edge the lawn. Very, very critical. And the very last thing I do with this topic when it comes to painless landscaping makeovers, if there's any cracks in the driveway, you want to fill them. And let me explain to you more about that, but I'm going to just write that here. Fill the cracks in the driveway. Fill cracks in driveway. Why do you want to do that? And it's so simple to do, and it's so easy to do. People think, well, how am I going to fill a crack in my driveway? It is the simplest and easiest thing to do. So you go to Home Depot or Lowe's or your local hardware store or whatever, and you tell them, look, I have a crack in the cement of my driveway, and I need to fill that crack. These places sell in a tube. It looks like caulking, like a caulking tube. You can get it really big or really small, whatever you need. But it looks like a tube, and it fills these cracks, and it fills the gaps in the driveway. And all you do is you get one of those it looks like a gun, but it's a device where you put in the tube, and you're able to. It looks like a gun, and you click it a couple times, and it pushes out the material that's inside the tube. And you just take that and you fill in those little cracks with that material that you purchase at the store. I don't know the name of it. It's just I just know when I go there, and trust me, you don't have to be an expert with this stuff. Trust me, I don't know all this, all the names of all the things. I wish I did, but I don't need to know it. I just know what it is. You go in there and you ask them, look, I have a crack in my driveway. I need to get a filler for it. And they'll give you that piece there. You just go there, you open it up, and you fill those cracks with that little piece, with that little tube. You let it dry, and next thing you know, it's gone. It's like you've never seen it before. So it's just these little touches, very, very simple, quick patchwork to do on that driveway thing. But it makes a big difference, because if somebody comes in and they see the crack, they're going to see the patch. But it's better to see a patch and see that someone tried to fix it, versus having the crack there, because they're going to look at that and go, oh, now I got to do that. So very, very simple things. Let's run through them again. Trim the bushes, pull the weeds and the dead plants, declutter the yard, mulch the flower beds, mow and edge the lawn, fill cracks in the driveways. Very, very simple things to do when it's painless landscaping makeovers, but it's going to make your house that much more desirable and that much more better, and help you sell your house versus your competition. So guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. It's going to be a couple of videos in this cosmetic job checklist that I'm going to do, and I'm going to run through each one. We're going to go through quick and cheap makeovers for the kitchen and things like that. So stay tuned for those videos. Hopefully this video helped you out, and it's something that you can't take for granted, because landscaping is the first thing that people see when they walk into your house. And its curb appeal is critical, because if people don't like the outside, they're probably not going to want to go on to the inside. So hopefully this video helped you out. I'm Jonathan Otero. I'm the owner, like I said, of J&J Management Group, and We Buy Houses Seminole. If you want to visit us at our website, you can go to WeBuyHousesSeminole.org, Our phone number is right now at the bottom, 407-796-8557. Give us a call, visit our website. I'm sure you guys have some questions. We're a local real estate investment company here in Orlando, Florida, and we look forward to seeing you guys in the marketplace. And remember our slogan, real estate can be so difficult. Our slogan is, let's keep it simple. Take care, guys. See you on the next video.